doing well today. As a reminder, a really important reminder, jump on over to the Wealth Press YouTube page. You're on it right now, probably if you're watching this video, and subscribe to the channel and click that bell for updates. And I want to direct your attention to some of these videos from my friend Lance on the Wealth Press YouTube channel. It's crazy good stuff. And in times of uncertainty like we have right now, it's people like Lance and the other folks at Wealth Press that are making these videos. There's a ton of content coming out. And I think 50 times the number of people ought to be subscribed to this YouTube channel because it's amazing. The other thing that I want to direct your attention to, in times of uncertainty, it's important to read the stories of companies and people that have made it through difficult times. So the number one book on that list is The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. He's business partners in the venture capital firm with Marc Andreessen. And this is a great book about making it through hard times and having to lay people off and having to survive through difficult times when revenue was uncertain. This is a critically important book. There's more to come on those recommendations, but I'd start there. So what's going on? Volatility is up again today. At some point in time, it's got to go down. And I think what we're oddly going to see is when we start getting certainty about the number of cases and when testing goes up, even if the numbers shoot through the roof, the market could respond positively. And what I mean by that is uncertainty is what drives the VIX, right? So volatility goes up when things are uncertain. But as things become more certain, as we know what we're dealing with, then actually people calm down and can price it in. One of the major problems right now is nobody knows what stocks are worth because stocks are generally considered to be worth some multiple of their future earnings. But future earnings have been completely decimated in a heartbeat. Usually that stuff declines over time or whatever else. But this is like the mother of all earnings reports for all the stocks. And so we just don't know. So that's why you get headlines like the Dow loses 3,000 points at a time. It just gave back all of its gains within such a short period of time. So there could be more to come. I don't think that it's useful or good to start talking about trying to catch the bottom in oil or in stocks or whatever else. And this is really like the worst options priced market of all time. So I wanted to buy puts on the VIX at some point in time in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But at the current rate that these things are selling for, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to do that. So for me, everything that I normally do with the VIX or the S&P 500, it's all on hold. Anything I would ordinarily do with oil, all on hold. And sometimes it's better just to go, I'm going to come back to that later. I'll pick that back up later on. But for now, I think I want to draw your attention to some of the stuff that most people wouldn't look at. Do a scan on your charts, on your favorite software. Do a scan for pharmaceutical stocks or medical supply companies trading under $10. One of them is here. This is from Stephen Place, my good friend. Check him out on Twitter. Look, this is a really interesting stock. It's Owens & Minor. They didn't have a good earnings report. It dropped after earnings. And then suddenly it's up. And it's doing really well in the midst of a pretty bad market. Why? Because they're a medical supply company. And that is probably a good place to be right now. I own 1,000 shares of OMI, so to be fully transparent about that. I'm not long AbbVie Incorporated, the pharmaceutical company. They got a bazillion drugs out there that are already approved, so it's a big cap pharmaceutical name. But this is going to print at some point in time a bullish chart pattern. I mean, if you want to think about, like, our bank's going to be doing great over the next 12 months. No. Our airline's going to be, no. Our hotels, no. Our restaurants, no. Our consumer discretionary stocks, probably. Our pharmaceutical stocks, yeah. I mean, Jim Cramer the other day, I know he's completely out of his mind most of the time, but he said, look in your medicine cabinet. Look in your pantry. That's the stuff that's going to do well. So I like AbbVie. I'm not long yet, but I do plan on going long. VXRT. Besides mRNA, it's in Johnson & Johnson. It's one of like 5 to 8 companies that are working on a vaccine right now. It's down today, which I think is a bonus. Did you know that a giant number of insiders bought this stock back in October of last year? I mean, they didn't know what we don't know, of course, but they liked their company at some pretty ridiculously great prices. and they bought it, and then it went into a bull market even before all of this stuff hit. And now they're one of the companies on the forefront of making a vaccine. I own a ton of shares of VXRT. I own, I don't know, 6,000 shares of VXRT. And I don't know if it's going to work. My target is $12. I'd be happy if it got to $5. I'd be happy if it just had a positive day today. But so full disclosure, I'm long that one. But that's a pharmaceutical stock directly linked to creating a vaccine. And there could be multiple companies making progress at the same time on things like that. Other stocks I'm interested in right now, people are still eventually going to have to file their taxes. So there's been this tax relief holiday that's going to go on where you don't have to pay them as soon as you did. And maybe we don't even have to file in April like we usually do. H&R Block, year after year after year after year, does well from March until August. Why? Because of tax season. That whole trend has probably been delayed. But as soon as H&R Block prints a bullish pattern here, you're going to probably see millions of Americans rushing to H&R Block as soon as they can go out and do that, because they're probably going to be getting a bigger than what we expected refund. Think about that for a minute. And so their business has been beaten down. It's a beaten down stock in a company that has generally great fundamentals behind it, and this is the best time of the year to look at that one. So there's opportunity all over the place if you know where to look. But I think where all of the attention is going right now is in things like UVXY. Like everyone's looking at volatility, VIX. Everyone's looking at the VIX. Everybody's looking at the S&P 500. But I don't think this is where the opportunity is anymore. It's the headline stuff. We don't care about the headlines right now. We already got them. We know it's bad. We know stocks have been hit. We know that traders on Wall Street are running around with their pants on fire in circles screaming at each other. We know Goldman Sachs bankers may be going to work sick because they think their bosses want them to work over. None of that even matters right now. What matters is underneath the surface, there's all kinds of amazing opportunity that you can find, and you should take a look at it. So last of all, I have been sending you 5 gajillion emails about me and my buddy Roger Stone. Roger, love you, man. I know some of you hate him. One of you wrote on Facebook that, what is this ridiculous crap? Well, let me tell you what this ridiculous crap is. Maybe it's only the very best strategy for uncertain times like this. Maybe it's only the greatest way to find stocks that are trading for under $6. Maybe it's only been verified by the world's most deeply connected insider of all time. That's all it is. Maybe only the greatest thing you could pay attention to this week. So check that out. Take a look at it. The links are going to be below later on. And I'm basically flooding your email inbox, which I only do when I know I've got something important for you. If you like the video, please take a moment now, click that subscribe button on the Wealth Press YouTube channel. There's a ton of great content coming through every single day. We love you. We're concerned for you. Want to hear from you, and let us know how you're doing. I'm Rob Booker. I will see you tomorrow.